Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and some more interesting discussions hitting the timeline with FormaL's potential return to professional play just around the corner, but also auto tax sprint once again on the menu. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, this from Lyman, another CDL LAN card for 2021. We saw the one for Octane just a couple of days ago. This is from Dashy. Of course, not the greatest record for OpTic even on LAN, like a 5 and 6 as you can see right here in their records. But yeah, an 89 overall, Search and Destroy not exactly great, but yeah, hardpoint and control certainly particularly good. Damage, kills for 10 minutes, all this type of stuff. It was interesting, like the reaction to Dashy is so polarizing right now. I was discussing it yesterday on the Breaking Point podcast, which may well be live already on YouTube at this point, on the Breaking Point channel. The fact that like Dashy, like his situation right now kind of reminds me of where Huke was a couple of years ago, when when Huke was playing for Envy and then for Splice and during like World War II Black Ops 4, like he was gassed up by so many of the pros, and but like he didn't really have the results, right? The fan perception of Huke was like, you know, this guy's overrated, right? He's not performing, or at least he performs, he puts up good numbers, but he doesn't win events. And of course that perception really changed in Modern Warfare, where Huke did come through and win a load of events on the Dallas Empire and the World Championship and prove that he could do it. And I think it's kind of the same thing with Dashy at the present time, where until he actually, well, of course he won one championship with OpTic back in 2018 at Las Vegas, but since then hasn't really had any success. So I think until like he actually wins another event, people are going to say, look, he's just playing for kills, like the stats are great, but where's the results? And there's so many questions really around Dashy. It is, I think it's a very interesting one of really going into the next title. Of course, this was on the big stream, but I forgot to put it up for you guys, so I guess we'll just have to move on at this point. But certainly, certainly good to keep your eyes on going forwards. These LAN cards, I like the idea of this actually, just taking the events that were played on LAN at the, at the final few events of the season and seeing how that matchups to their rest of the season that they played. This, of course, that the Flank came out with an episode last night for the first time in a fair while. Good to see how, maybe the Flank's going to be back in business in October with a load of new guests coming on. So we've got to hear from aBeZy, we've got to hear from Hitch, and the few things that they had to say. And what Hitch has to say I thought was particularly interesting. We saw this in FormaL a couple of days ago on the OpTic podcast, where he kind of hinted at it, but was by no means absolutely 100% certain. But Hitch says pretty much 100% certain FormaL is going to go to this event. This is the Raleigh kickoff for the Halo Championship Series they're going to be doing in December this year, just like a week and a half after the title comes out. This I think is perfect for FormaL. It makes so much sense. Like, of course, playing Call of Duty on a high level, so difficult to do consistently. So, well, he's going to be able to go along here and have a good time, I suppose, teaming with players that he wants to team with, maybe make some sort of pickup team, and, hopefully have a good time doing so. As Hitch says on this, on the flank that we'll look at right here in a second, FormaL is 100% going to that Raleigh event, maybe back to the Halo roots. And who knows, right, if he enjoys it, that could spark the motivation for FormaL to return to competitive play in its entirety. So I'll share this clip. I'll also share the clip from the OpTic podcast where he kind of hinted a similar thing, just very briefly before that.
Speaking of Neptune a little bit, coming from Halo, the new Halo's dropping. Have you guys played it at all? Davis, you've played it a little bit, right?
I played it a little bit, yeah. I mean, I've always, throughout my entire life, sucked at Halo. So I can't really tell if it's good or bad. I just know that I still continue to suck at Halo. But it seems like Blake and George really liked it. Nick played it for Maniak played it for a while. He used to be pro. So everybody's pretty excited. I saw
FormaL was talking about ready to jump back into Halo.
Oh, they're 100%. They're 100% going to that Raleigh event in December.
Yeah, Brian, FormaL was talking about it on the podcast, how he's thinking about playing. You know what I'm saying? I think he was like, there's got to be people. He was telling teams to drop their teammates for him. That's what he was saying. I was Brian.
Trying to have fun with it,
I don't know. I guess he's gonna try and have fun with it and see where it goes. Because if he goes and has fun with it, I feel like Halo, just fits FormaL so well.
Yeah, it's also refreshing. I think when you compete for so long in one game, and you get to go play a whole nother game. It's new and it's refreshing. You just kind of revives your motivation and your drive a little bit.
No, 100%.
Yo, Matt. All right, first Halo Infinite HCS event announced, $250,000 prize pool.
Let me know, Halo pros. I'm talking to APG. I know you'll sketch APG. Drop your guy that you know what I'm saying. Who you team with? Boo Boo. Yeah. Boo Boo Doo Boo.
Boo Boo Loo Boo.
Nah, I'm just playing. But for real though, I might play that shit. He's not playing. I might. It's on my birthday too.
Yeah, Nick said he's 100% going, and that's my hometown. I'm
Dude,
going.
imagine
it's
you,
in Raleigh.
Imagine you, sure. Maniak.
No, I'm not teaming with Nick. I'm not teaming. I love Nick to death. He's one of my best friends. I've never played with him again.
Dude, I'm so excited for Halo to be back.
Well, what if Nick doesn't want to play with you though? How would you feel about that? Nick, do you want to play with Matt?
So one of the other big questions that came out yesterday on the flank was this question about, auto tac sprints. It was talked about by aBeZy and effectively suggesting yeah, I think players should use it. Generally, a lot of the older, more experienced players tend to prefer having auto tac sprint in the game, whereas the younger, more cracked out SMG type players tend to think, okay, it makes it too easy for some of these guys with worse movement to have decent movement in the game. Clayster and other players have certainly been talking for quite a while now. They're like, yes, they're going to use it next year. First of all, there's been a question from Parasite: is tac sprint even going to be used in the game next title? Because it's possible you can just turn off tac sprint in its entirety, but I doubt they're going to play with it out entirely. I'm pretty sure tac sprint is going to be in the game. The question is, are we going to have the auto tac sprint setting where you just move your left stick forward and it effectively works as like a macro to make you sprint at full speed immediately? Clay's like, yes, I'm using it, I'm breaking the GAs. We saw this from Standy as well yesterday on the flank, where he says the following: he's on demon mode, let's use ATS, I don't care about skill gap, just straight up get better, says Standy in the chat.
And there's also the auto tac sprint. Are people using that now? Like, are pro players? Ben, what do you think? Do you think pros are going to start using ATS now?
Well, think about some of these rumored teams and the spread, and we all know how the politics work. So,
the politics. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by politics?
You know how the stuff gets negotiated behind the scenes. Who kind of stirs the pot? Who usually goes with the crowd? If there was a year with the way that talent split on different teams, I could see auto tac sprint sticking this here in Call of Duty.
I
feel like they should.
I think they should too.
So it seems like he's pretty much down to use ATS this year, which is kind of interesting, right? Because generally these kind of younger SMG type players, they tend to be the ones that prefer having it having it out of the game, so they're going to abuse their better movement to a greater degree than some of the other more veteran players can. But still, Stanley seems kind of down for it to be in. The community, and I think the community in general is probably in favor of having ATS in the game and used. I think especially in the challenger side, it makes a lot of sense. It's very difficult to police whether people are using it or not anyway in online matches, and of course, you can, I suppose, do it on LAN, but even then, if it's just GAs, which referee's going to go and check if someone's got it on an official match if it's not actually banned in the official rules, which it won't be. It'll just be gentleman's agreemented. So, there's a few different angles here, and therefore, I think generally the community thinks, yeah, let's just kind of let them use it. But the pros have different perspectives. I think they're very much split down the middle, it seems, right now, because as Standy says right here, to be honest, I'm probably not even going to be using it anyway, because I'm highly sure they'll have a CDL in-game setting where you can disable it. So maybe that'll be the case this year, right, where maybe Sledgehammer take the game to the next level, not what we had last year when it was kind of like, is someone using ATS, are they not? It's impossible to know, because you can kind of look at their movement and think they're pretty good, but are they actually using it? You don't know unless you go into their settings. Whereas maybe this year, they'll actually have a setting within the CDL rules that says, yes, no ATS allowed in this game mode, right, which would be really cool, right, and maybe Stanley seems pretty confident that will be the case, which, to be fair, would be good to see if Sledgehammer actually step their game up to that great degree, that they implement something like this. But really, we haven't seen in Call of Duty here for quite some time, and of course, pros aren't necessarily all on board with this. I'm pretty sure I saw Illy recently suggest that take it off, you're not using it, mate, and Gunless says a similar thing right here, gives a no to Standy when he mentions it back in September, and me writing down your name to make sure you are following the rules. But maybe it won't be a case of following the rules, it'll be more so a case of okay, hang on, you actually physically cannot use it if you wanted to, because the settings are going to straight up disable it within the game itself. So definitely something to keep your eyes on going forwards. This I thought was interesting from the subliners: which 3 COD games had the best maps and which 3 had the worst. I think the worst maps of all time, I don't know, 3 COD games for the best, 3 COD games for the worst. It is kind of tough to say. Maybe I'll throw a couple in there on either pick. The worst, Ghosts has to be up there for the worst. I don't know if a COD game has surpassed Ghosts for the worst maps. Probably Modern Warfare 2019, actually, to be fair. So those 2 have got to be up there. The best maps to me, it's got to be the Treyarch games. You could throw Advanced Warfare into the mix. I'd probably say Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and Advanced Warfare for the best COD games, have got to be right up there. There was 2012, 2014, 2015, with Ghosts in between as one of the worst. Ghosts actually had decent competitive maps, but on the whole, if you look at all the maps in its entirety, just you've got Siege, you've got Chasm, Stonehaven, I don't know, I actually quite liked Stormfront, but there were some other tragic ones in that map that I'm sure I'm forgetting. But Black Ops 2 has so many legendary ones: Standoff, Raid, Express, even the general public match ones in Black Ops 2, I quite enjoy playing Drone. I think Overflow is like a relatively underrated. Carry is great fun. Like there's so many maps in that game that even were played in competitive that are so good. Black Ops 3 is in a very similar boat, I think. And Black Ops 4 wasn't too bad, but I don't think it was great. Cold War, like, you know, they copied a lot of Black Ops 2 games, so I'm not really sure that counts. And I think Advanced Warfare's got to be up there as well, because you look at maps like Solar, like Biolab, I think was my personal favorite. Riot, Search and Destroy, I thought was fantastic. So yeah, to me, that's how it lines up. And well, this question that Real PD Gaming actually comes out with, we did look at this a little bit ago, but I'm pretty sure we didn't talk about this Subpen map, because some of these maps are rumored to be coming back to Call of Duty Vanguard. Castle and Dome we talked about before. Subpen apparently is going to be another one. Now, Dome, a couple of guys were pointing out to me, is the same as the Dig map that came out in Black Ops 2 DLC, which I forgot was exactly the same thing. But yeah, Castle especially looks more, maybe potentially viable for competitive play. The other ones, I'm not 100% sure. I suppose we shall see. But we do think there are going to be a lot of maps here at launch into Call of Duty Vanguard, which of course, well, can't be a negative at the end of the day. And well, just wanted to finish off with this as well, because relatively soon, there's going to be a Challengers Top 20 players list coming out from GG Breaking Voids. I'm pretty sure Crone did a similar thing as well, actually, with a tier list of players from each region. But yeah, some interesting discussion on it right here, because there's going to be a lot of talk about this. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, well, drama about it on the timeline, really, because I'm pretty sure the list is, of course, it's subjective at the end of the day. But as EasyMac says, I'm not ready for all the hate these are going to get. And as Joey Nubsy says, I mean, things can be subjective and still be viewed as a little outlandish when there's data to heavily sway one way. As for people getting upset, it's not just because of the list, it's a combination of many times where a lack of light on their name is shown, and it adds up over time. So yeah, certainly some discussion to be continued to have on who are the best players in Challengers, and well, who's going to get annoyed about them getting ranked lower than some other players. I'm sure it's going to be a fair few people. But intrigued to get thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really upset that YouTube are going to know you enjoy this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.